Hi, it's Katrina. From a lost Stonehenge in Spain to strange spheres, here are 10 mind-blowing recent archaeological discoveries. Number 10. Oldest ever Viking dwelling. Earlier this year, experts revealed the existence of two Viking Age longhouses in eastern Iceland, or what's left of them. One predates the previous earliest known human arrivals to the region by over 70 years. They were accidentally discovered in 2003, but they were not excavated until 2015. One structure dates back to around 800 AD, and the other to sometime between 869 and 873 AD. Yet, according to 12th century literature, Iceland's first human inhabitants arrived at the very earliest in 870 AD. According to the Book of Settlements, a man named Ingolfur Arnarson became Iceland's first settler in 874 AD, when he and his wife traveled to what is now Reykjavik. Archaeologist Bjarni Einarsson, who was the first to excavate the site, explained that scholars seem reluctant to study Iceland's human history beyond accepting Arnarsson as the first official arrival, and he cited the settlement, called Stud, as proof that the legend might not be true. The longhouses are also impressive for other reasons. Measuring 103 feet long, the bigger of the two structures constitutes one of the largest longhouses ever discovered in Iceland. It's also one of the country's most archaeologically rich dwellings of its type, Einarsson told Live Science, bearing artifacts such as Roman and Middle Eastern coins, jewelry including rings, glass beads, and pieces of bent and cut silver that were used as currency, called hacksilver. Einarsson explained that the smaller, treasure-filled longhouse was certainly a chieftain's house. It was built within the ruins of a larger 131-foot-long building, which he believes a Norwegian chief operated as a seasonal hunting camp. Intermittently used structures like this, which are conspicuously lacking in domestic animal remains, likely pave the way toward permanent settlement. Number 9. A shipwreck frozen in time. British explorer and naval officer Sir John Franklin took two ships on an ill-fated 1845 expedition to find the Northwest Passage, a sea route above North America that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The HMS Terror and the HMS Erebus and his 133-man crew vanished without a trace, and over 100 subsequent search missions failed to find any evidence of them. But finally, in 2014 and 2016, the missing ships were found. Last year, Parks Canada archaeologists used remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, to inspect the HMS Terror shipwreck, located off King William Island in Canada's far north. Over a series of 7 dives, the team discovered that the capsized vessel's interior is surprisingly intact. We were able to explore 20 cabins and compartments going from room to room, lead archaeologist Ryan Harris told National Geographic. The doors were all eerily wide open. Even more shocking, the shelves were still stocked with dinnerware and glasses, beds and desks were still in place, and scientific instruments were still in their cases, indicating that preserved remains of journals, photographs, documents, clothing, and other evidence may be present within the sunken ship. Researchers hope that by further exploring the shipwrecks, they will find clues to help them solve the remaining mysteries about the failed expedition, including how and where the crew members perished after abandoning their stranded vessels and setting out on foot, only to never be seen or heard from again. And now for number 8, but first want to say a big thank you to Haley Thomas and Ryan Cañete for supporting this channel. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe and let me know what videos you would like to see in the comments below. Number 8. 4,400-year-old tomb. In late 2018, a team of Egyptian archaeologists discovered the tomb of a priest at Saqqara, a necropolis west of modern-day Cairo. The high-status burial is estimated to be 4,400 years old, and it was amazingly found untouched by looters or anyone else. Found in a royal cemetery 16 feet underground, the priest Watier's vividly decorated tomb is one of a kind in the last decades, in the words of Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, Mustafa Waziri. The burial chamber's colors remain intact even after so long. Thanks to the drawings, inscriptions, and carvings, archaeologists were able to piece together the story of this powerful man and his family. Watier served King Neferirkare during ancient Egypt's Old Kingdom's 5th dynasty. Inscriptions within his rock-cut tomb list his numerous titles, including Royal Purification Priest, Royal Supervisor, and Inspector of the Sacred Boat. Reliefs throughout the structure depict Watier himself, as well as his wife, Weret Ta, and his mother, Merit Min. The artwork shows everyday activities such as hunting, sailing, making pottery, and leaving offerings. An unusually diverse variety of statues fill the burial chamber, many of Wattier and his relatives. The sheer amount of statues and variety is very rare. So far, the team has only uncovered one area, but there are at least 4 more unopened shafts that could lead to more hidden treasures, and possibly even a coffin or a sarcophagus, which has not been found yet. Number 7. Spanish Stonehenge. Nicknamed the Spanish Stonehenge, the Dolmen of Guadalperal is a prehistoric circular arrangement of 140 boulders, some standing nearly 6.5 feet tall. After spending over a half-century underwater, the Stonehenge reappeared in 2019. The ancient megalithic monuments, erected between 4,000 and 7,000 years ago near the city of Cáceres, Spain, were submerged in 1963, following the construction of the Valdecañas Reservoir. They became visible last year when a severe drought decreased water levels. In an interview with Atlas Obscura, local resident Ángel Castaño explained, "All my life people had told me about the dolmen. I had seen parts of it peeking out from the water before, but this is the first time I've seen it in full. It's spectacular because you can appreciate the entire complex for the first time in decades." When news broke of the Spanish Stonehenge's reappearance, a local association started a Change.org petition urging local authorities to preserve the dolmen, which are made from highly porous granite and are therefore fragile against the elements, including water. Following their rediscovery, Smithsonian Magazine reported that the megaliths bear signs of erosion, and some have fallen over or started cracking. "If we don't act now, it could be too late," Castaño warned the local. In September of this year, the Olive Press reported that the petition had reached nearly 50,000 signatures, but gave no word on how Spain's Ministry of Culture plans to respond to the pleas to save the dolmen of Guadalperal. Number 6. 400-year-old shipwreck. In September 2018, archaeologists found what they called the discovery of a decade and the most important find of all time for Portugal, an astonishingly intact 400-year-old shipwreck off the coast of Cascais near Lisbon. The vessel, which sank sometime between 1575 and 1625 during the height of Portugal's spice trade with Asia, was likely returning from India when catastrophe struck. George Fryer, the project's director, told Reuters that the well-preserved wreck was found 40 feet underwater. It was discovered near the mouth of the Tagus River, a known hotspot for shipwrecks, as part of a decade-long archaeological project sponsored by the Cascais government, the Portuguese government and navy, and Nova University in Lisbon. Along with the sunken vessel were numerous valuable artifacts, including late 16th and early 17th century Chinese porcelain, bronze artillery pieces, and cowrie shells. Number 5. Paisley Abbey Tunnel Mystery Solved. Throughout the summer of 2019, a team of archaeologists worked to finish excavating a 14th century tunnel known as the Abbey Drain, which is located near a former monastery in Paisley, Scotland. Experts have known about the well-preserved tunnel for hundreds of years, but until they fully explored it, they only knew where it started, not where it ended. Their efforts to uncover the stone archway led them to roughly 10 feet from the banks of the present-day Cart River, indicating that the tunnel once flowed into it. At the time the drain was built, the Cart River was both wider and shallower than it is now, which explains why the structure stopped short of it. It took the team around 8 weeks to fully excavate the 328-foot tunnel before they once again began covering it up. Seems kind of pointless, doesn't it? Well, the information gleaned from the dig stands to teach experts more about the area's history, and it's possible that the Abbey Drain will someday be reopened as a visitor attraction. Around 6,500 people were lucky enough to visit the tunnel during the 2-month excavation, which revealed that the drain is in remarkable condition. In the words of dig leader Bob Will of Guard Archaeology, "We found more than I was expecting, and it is really exciting. We found the end of the drain and what was the boundary wall of the monastery. Often these types of drains are in rural areas, not urban ones, where there will have been pressure on the land above it. But considering the amount of buildings on that site over the centuries, the condition of the drain is quite incredible." Number 4. Neolithic Woodhenge. We have a Stonehenge, and now we have a Woodhenge. Earlier this year, researchers announced the discovery of a wooden Neolithic structure in south-central Portugal's Évora district at the prehistoric site of Perdigoes. Measuring over 60 feet in diameter, the monument is located within a series of ditch enclosures. In an interview with the Portugal News, archaeologist António Valera explained a possible access to the interior of this structure is oriented toward the summer solstice, reinforcing its cosmological character. He further added that the discovery connects the so-called Woodhenge to other known European Neolithic sites. Known as a ceremonial Neolithic construction, this type of structure was only known in Central Europe and the British Isles, until it was confirmed here. The remains now consist of the structure's surviving foundation. Woodhenge was found after 23 years of excavations at the site, which consists of ruins spanning from the Middle Neolithic, around 3,400 BC, to 2000 BC during the Bronze Age. Number 3. Artificial Neolithic islands. A study released last year found that Neolithic people created hundreds of artificial islands called crannogs off the Scottish coast around 5,600 years ago. Researchers, some of whom published their findings in the journal Antiquity, had known about the crannogs for decades. But until recently, they believed that the islands, which were constructed from boulders, clay, and wood, dated back to around 2,800 years ago during the Iron Age. As it turns out, they are several millennia older than that, and the crannogs likely marked special locations for those who built them, as evidenced by the discovery of pottery fragments found in and around the sites. During the 1980s, experts began receiving clues about the island's true age, and the discoveries kept coming, prompting UK archaeologists Duncan Garrow and Fraser Sturt to take a comprehensive look in 2016 and 2017. For the study, they examined crannogs in 3 lakes. Radiocarbon dating showed that 4 of the crannogs were built between 3,640 and 3,360 BC, long before researchers previously thought. One thing that is conspicuously lacking from the island so far are Neolithic structures. Archaeologists hope that some will turn up during future excavations. Number 2. Massive structure hidden in plain sight. In mid-2016, thanks to satellite and drone technology, researchers found a massive structure buried in the sands of the world-famous Petra ruins in Jordan. Roughly the size of an Olympic swimming pool, the building was found literally hidden in plain sight, just south of the city center, and archaeologists have missed this for 150-200 years, said researcher Sarah Parcak of the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Parcak further explained that despite the structure's confirmed presence, its use remains a mystery for now. "We know it's large, it's significant, it's important," she said. "It probably would have had some kind of public function. Could it be used for religious purposes? Was it some sort of public administrative structure? I wish I knew." Parcak, who's known as a modern-day Indiana Jones, is a space archaeologist who finds hidden and otherwise undetected structures by analyzing space and aerial imagery. Also space as in empty space and voids, not outer space. She admitted that she initially dismissed the building buried at Petra, but it managed not to slip under the radar thanks to her colleague Christopher Tuttle, who identified foundations and column bases. This comes as good news, especially to Parcak, who stated that no other building like it has been found at the site. Pottery fragments indicate that the structure may be as much as 2,150 years old. Number 1. Golden Cannonball Fossil. While out on one of his regularly scheduled fossil hunting missions with his father in early 2019, along Sandsend Beach in Whitby, England, a medical student named Aaron Smith discovered a large, shiny rock resembling a cannonball. The 22-year-old examined the object and broke it open. Turns out it was a fossilized 185-million-year-old Eleganticeras, an ammonite that went extinct around the same time as the dinosaurs. Smith reported that he found the object in a layer of rock dating back to the Lower Jurassic period. The limestone fossil is covered in something called iron pyrite, a material known more commonly as fool's gold. When polished, the outside of these types of fossils gain a goldish hue, hence the substance's informal name. In a social media post revealing the fascinating find, Smith expressed his surprise at how such old fossils are still out there, waiting to be found, adding that a cannonball fossil is only discovered once every few years. But this is apparently one of several ammonite fossils that the young man and his father have found over the years. They've amassed quite the collection, as a video Smith posted on social media shows, along with numerous other types of fossils, but people love the cannonball fossils the most. In Smith's words, they love them much more than our marine reptile fossils in many cases, which is quite annoying because the marine reptiles are my favorite. Thanks for watching! Which discovery did you like the most? What would you like to learn more about? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. See you soon! Bye!